Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Review of Honor, where, as you know, we cover everything that happens in a Ring of Honor ring. And there was the main event this week, I think, was something that kind of set the tone for what Ring of Honor is and what we should be expecting when it comes to Ring of Honor. But it just was an incredible match. But before we get to all of that, I gotta introduce. I'm getting ahead of myself, guys. I gotta introduce my co-host, and you guys know who it is. It's the three-time baby-making champ. This is Ness, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing mighty fine this evening. Yeah, I have to agree with the sentiments that you're just making about the main event, pretty much setting the tone for what Ring of Honor is. Not to get ahead of myself, but yeah, that's what Ring of Honor is. Especially with them bringing back the pure title and the pure division. We pretty much had the guys at the forefront of the pure division just being so disgusted from last week's shenanigans and antics in that main event. And they just said, look, man, we got to go out there and remind the people that that's not what honor is. That's not what Ring of Honor is. Like, we're going to show them and embed it in their brains that this is what professional wrestling really should be.
Yeah, and kudos to all of them. But before we get to that, we got to talk about our first match. But even before we can get to that, we got to remind you guys, remember to hit that to comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. As you know, we are past 1,000 subscribers, but the march continues onwards. We appreciate everything you guys do. We love spending time with you guys. And let's just continue to share this amazing thing that we call pro wrestling. So, guys, our first match of the night, if you are a Ring of Honor fan and you are part of the Facebook group that they have, the Choose Your Honor experience, then you kind of know we kind of had a hand in creating this match. And we voted in that Tony Deppen should have a match, should have an appearance because of how well he did in the kind of Proving Grounds Fatal 4-Way in order to face Dragon Lee for the TV title. He wasn't successful at Final Battle, but he put on a really good showing, and because of that, fans around the world have clamored to have him back. And here he gets to face the man that he pinned in order to get that opportunity at Dragon Lee, LSG. There's some really good promo videos for this. I really felt like LSG had something to prove coming into this. He wanted to prove that it was not a fluke, and that's kind of what he did. He kind of proved that it was not a fluke, that he is a capable wrestler, and this was a pretty good match. It went up just under 12 minutes long, but LSG was able to pick up the win over Tony Deppen. He avenges his loss from the Final Battle pre-show of a couple months ago. I liked the match. I thought that it was kind of a glimpse of the future, even though both LSG and Tony Deppen have been around for so long. It kind of feels as though it was a glimpse of the future of what we can see down the road in Ring of Honor. Maybe these are guys who will be TV champions down the road, will be pure champions down the road, but we get to see them now, and we can kind of maybe a couple years from now, one of them might be a champion, one of them might be chasing, and they'll be referencing this match, and they'll be referencing what happened at Final Battle. I gave this one 2.25. Ness, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think 2.25 is good for the rating for this match. But yeah, man, these guys definitely went out there and were trying to get the eyes on them for not a lot of people. Excuse me, not a lot of people are like, you think of Ring of Honor, you don't think of Tony Deppen right off the top of your head. You don't think of LSG right off the top of your head. And I feel as though these guys somewhat have a chip on their shoulder, and that's what they went into the match with. LSG being pinned by Tony Deppen at the pre-show or Final Battle. He's definitely been carrying that around with him since December. And I definitely felt that fire from him in his promo video, because he's saying, are you able to actually hang with the best? Like, Tony Deppen has proven that, facing off against Dragon Lee, a champion, LSG having one of the best performances I've seen out of him, going against Jay Lethal a couple episodes ago. So both of these guys definitely have proven that they can go and hang with the best of the best that is Ring of Honor has to offer. So they definitely showed up in this match. Man, it was at one point, I don't know if he slapped him in the chest or the face or both. And I just kept rewinding it to try to get a glimpse of it. It was Tony Deppen. I think it's probably like this area's face, neck, chest, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Man, when the hand connected with whatever part of his body, it just sounded like a shotgun going off. And I'm like, these guys. Then they just get into a slap fest. And, we see that in plenty of promotions. And it's just that energy and that fire is like, you slap me, I'm going to slap you back. And they were just slapping each other. And man, I enjoyed the match for what it was. I also enjoyed it for the fact that there's a spotlight on, I don't want to call them like rookies or young talent, things like that, because they have decades plus under their belt and experience in wrestling, but more so, maybe I'll use newer entities to the Ring of Honor audience and fandom. So these guys definitely showed up. Big props to LSG. Like I said, he's been having that chip on his shoulder ever since, the pre-show for Final Battle, when he was pinned by Tony Deppen, and he came in and he knew that he had to avenge that loss, or he could be at the bottom of whatever division, the TV title division, the pure division, anything. So this is definitely going to put him in a prominent spot. Definitely give the Ring of Honor officials something to work with. Like, hey, he's just got to win. We can move him up in the rankings, things of that nature. So it all worked out in the end. And kudos to both guys for putting on a good match.
Absolutely, kudos to both men. I think you're right. Like, this is something that can be used as a good stepping stone for LSG when it comes to. Yeah. It comes to whatever title contention he wants to be in. I think it'd be interesting to see him take on Dragon Lee after Tony Deppen did it, right? And he's just like, well, I beat Deppen. Let's see if I can. That would be something that would be really interesting, I think, for them to do, just as something to keep the wheels spinning behind Dragon Lee as he continues. I don't anticipate, if LSG were to get a match against Dragon Lee, that he would be successful, but the match itself would be great for LSG's overall trajectory. But speaking of title matches and speaking of trajectories, we got today this week a great glimpse into the future of Mark Briscoe and Jay Briscoe. I like how you knew where I was going with that. Yeah. And with Quinn McKay as a moderator of sorts, or at least attempting to be a moderator, I felt really bad for her. The two brothers tried to settle their differences, and there is some great moments. There are some great moments of comedy there about, I guess, for some reason, one person picked the analogy of a boat, and that's what they stuck with for the rest of the, some people in the water, the shallows. Am I going to swim out to you when you're in the boat? No, I'm not going to swim out to you. You got to bring the boat over to me. Well, if you want me to bring the boat over to you, I'm going to bring the boat over to you because I'm the captain of the boat. Hey, he's not the captain of the boat. Jay Briscoe is apparently the captain of a boat that he is not inside of. He is on the shoreline, trying to get the boat to come to him, but he's the captain. It reminded me. It just made me feel like Jay Briscoe is Jack Sparrow going through some kind of Pirates of the Caribbean shenanigans, and Mark Briscoe is the rest of the insane crew. Like, we gotta go get him. Get the
captain. Yeah.
So, it was just a pretty funny exchange, but all's well that ends well because the two brothers are back on the same page. They are both interested in going after the tag titles, and maybe we will see that. Maybe that's going to be how they get the tag titles off of Lethal Gresham, with maybe LFI causing some kind of interference. And that's what causes them to lose the titles. But, Lethal and Gresham, while they were interested in getting the titles back, maybe they're more upset at the fact that there was interference because that's not honorable. Maybe that's a way that they move this storyline along between the Foundation and LFI. But what are your thoughts on the reunited Briscoes going back into the tag team title hunt?
Man, that segment was hilarious because again, we're dealing with Mark Briscoe being the voice of reason, and that does not happen often. And when it does happen, you have to take into account that it's something serious. So, of course, Jay Briscoe's a little salty. His brother, his blood brother, goes out, gets a new partner. They didn't win, him and PCO tagging, but, he's going to feel away, We had a shot at the tag team championships. He was distracted with EC3. So Mark said, look, you're going to do whatever you got to do with EC3. I'm going to go handle my business with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. So, at the end of the day, it didn't work. Neither situation worked out for either guy. So now it's kind of like, all right, let's come back full circle. Again, back with this whole boat analogy. He's like, oh, I missed the boat. Jay Briscoe saying, oh, I missed the boat. Mark Briscoe at the end of things is like, look, the boat's back. You either going to get on the boat or what's up? We're like, what are we doing? He's like, I'm on the boat. He's like, let's do it. And then they do the back and forth. Let's do it. So it was entertaining, but at the end of the day, business is business, and they know that their sights are set on the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. So we gotta, they gotta refocus, get their game plan going, and just go after the tag team titles. I'm ready to see that match. I'm sure you're ready to see that match. I just want to, we're just waiting for it. It's been a long time coming with, again, the EC3 situation that threw him off course at first, and then Mark had his shot with PCO, and they failed there. So is it going to be Jay's finally focused again, and Mark has the proper partner in his brother, his 11-time tag team champion brother? Are they going to get the job done? And then that's pretty much what we're just waiting for.
Yeah, you hate to see it when two, like to your point, they are blood brothers, right? You hate to see it when two brothers start arguing. Maybe one of them starts yelling at each other. It just gets really out of hand. But I mean, I like what they did. They stuck with it. They could have said, oh, we're gonna cut the feed or something like that. No, they gave us the whole. They just made sure. Yeah, these are two brothers in an argument, but Ring of Honor was like, you guys need to see this. So kudos to Ring of Honor. Like, I maybe would have had some tears if weren't able to see the whole thing, but thankfully Ring of Honor knows what they're doing. But anyway, let's move on to this main event. This is an incredible, guys. This is just an incredible main event. It's a great contrast. Last week we saw utter chaos. We saw ungovernable people in the ring doing whatever it is that they want, and we compare that with this week, an incredible match, absolutely incredible match. This goes over 17 minutes, but it's really, really strong work from everybody involved. It is, and let me get the exact combinations right, because what happens is Foundation, the four-member team of Lethal, Gresham, Tracy Williams, and Rhett Titus, they want to have a match with Wheeler Yuta and Fred Yehi. And they want to have a six-man tag, but they kind of want to make it interesting and kind of break up the normal Foundation tag team scenarios. So what we have here is Gresham teaming with Williams and Yehi versus Lethal teaming with Titus and Wheeler Yuta. So just in general, this automatically becomes interesting because you have the two tag team champions on opposing teams. So this is a clinic, I would say. This was a clinic in not just tag team wrestling, but what you can do when you keep everything kind of confined to the ring. It didn't happen often in this match where they, went to the outside, and when they did, it served a purpose for the match. And on top of it, there wasn't a lot of interference. Now, granted, these are both, in essence, two face teams. Like, at least they're working as faces, however you want to classify Foundation. But they had just very clean work in this match. There was one moment where Tracy Williams jumps in to break up a pin, and Lethal's on the other side, like, what are you? And the thing is, like, Hot Sauce breaks up the tag. Breaks up the pin, and then immediately it's like, I'm sorry. I know. Like, it's just like that. It's almost as though he knew what he was doing was so wrong. He couldn't help himself, but then he's asking, like, for forgiveness and everything. But this was, I don't know. This is, I think, I want to say that since you and I have started reviewing Ring of Honor, this is probably the best match I've seen. And I think this is probably going to be my favorite match thus far. There was just incredible false finishes. There were incredible matchups going on in between. We can't forget to talk about how Jay Lethal starts the match off against Tracy Williams because of that history in the Pure Title tournament where Williams, and just really well done to all of those guys. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that I think because our Ring of Honor rating is kind of weighted because of the quality of matches that Ring of Honor puts on. So I'm gonna say that for me, this is the first 4-star match that I think we have seen from Ring of Honor. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4-star. Ness, what are your thoughts, sir?
I can definitely give it a 4-star. Just not even just the match itself, just the overall story that it was telling. Again, like you said from last week with La Faction Gobernable and Flip Gordon versus PCO, Brody King, and the Briscoes. How crazy that got. This was just I don't want to call it a clean chaos, but it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful showing of proper in-ring, pure wrestling. I like the fact that not only did the tag team champions were on separate teams, was Tracy Williams and Red Titus. They also have been, some little bit of tagging under the radar. They also were on separate teams. I also love the fact that they brought in Wheeler Yuta and Fred Yehi. Now, Ian Riccaboni on commentary kind of alluded to the fact that he said that these guys aren't official members of the foundation, but they've been looked at as flag bearers. And from the pure title tournament, I felt as though those guys were people that should have been added to the foundation. Fred Yehi, definitely for the fact that, him and Trace Williams have history, and definitely Wheeler Yuta for the fact that him and Jonathan Gresham, although they've been on opposite sides before, they have, little history. I think I actually believe that Jonathan Gresham might have trained, did he train Wheeler Yuta? I don't know. He might have. I don't think so. But be that as it may, all these guys have the honor that Ring of Honor stands for in them, and when it comes to professional wrestling. So the match itself, it was just beautiful in my opinion. A lot of mat wrestling, technical ability being shown. Although it wasn't an official Pure Rules match, they played up on the strengths of it being a pure match. Just the fact that they had extra rope breaks or unlimited rope breaks, if you will. So they didn't have to worry about, going to the ropes. And then even in that aspect, they really didn't even use the rope breaks that many times. I want to say it might have been like 2 or 3 times that there was rope breaks.
It was almost as though if one of them used the rope break, you had to use the rope break. The rest of them were making fun of him for it.
Yeah. That's really what it was. It's like, you used the ropes. Like, oh, come on, man. You couldn't just squirt or transition your way out of that submission or out of this hold. Like, come on, man, you're better than this. And I also enjoyed the fact that they looked like they were having fun, just pure wrestling. I think of it as like iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. They're sparring off against one another, just trying to hone their crafts and get better. If you're sparring or working with a top talent, that just makes you better. You don't want to just work out with someone that you're better than, and they're just not as good as you. That doesn't do anything for you. That doesn't make you any better. So with these guys just being in the ring with each other and then just like putting all their technical ability to the test on one another, I really enjoyed the fact that it came down to that. And then it was like just overall, at the end of the day, it was just to show that Ring of Honor isn't supposed to be bar fighting and steel chair this and I'm going to hit you with a foreign object that. We're just here for pure wrestling, and they definitely, all 6 guys definitely showed that. Going forward, I don't know if they will officially be members with Wheeler Yuta and Fred Yehai with the foundation, but hey, I don't see why they shouldn't be. Both guys embody what the foundation stands for. And I want to say that, Lethal, Gresham, Williams, and Titus, they're all established in Ring of Honor at this point. So why not bring more guys in that you want to build up and carry the flag of being a pure professional wrestler? So I could definitely see, or definitely make a claim for Wheeler Yuta and Fred Yehai to be added to the foundation, and that's just another feather in the cap of the foundation, because they have these guys that have this ability, have the respect for the craft, and have the respect for themselves, that they want to hone their crafts and put on this type of showing for Ring of Honor. So overall, it all was enjoyable. I just want to see where that goes, because at the end of last week's episode where it was crazy, they were offended by that. So who knows? LFI can say, all right, look at these fucking guys. They're just, it's all about professional wrestling, and let's all have honor and all. Nobody gives a shit about honor. We only worry about ourselves, so who knows where it could go from that. But overall, I also give this match a 4 stars. It has to be there. It was just too good. And again, the overall story itself, it all just sets up and matches up with what these guys stand for, what pretty much the pure division coming back for. And it was just great overall.
Yeah. And it already sets the seeds for what could potentially be the foundation breakup months from now, where we see something building between the issue between Jay Lethal and Tracy Williams. They, even if that's how they eventually split these guys up to go their separate way, they're being very smart by planting little seeds for that early, so that down the road, you've given those seeds time to water, you've given them time to grow, you've watered them properly. Now we're able to all reap the benefits. But you are absolutely right when you say that LFI is all about results. They don't care how it gets done. They just care about the results. And that's something that we're going to be able to look forward to, because we get the announcement that Shane Taylor is going to be taking on Rush for the world title. I forget the date exactly. I think they said it was March 3rd or something. I want to say it was March 3rd.
Pretty much like 2 weeks.
I think. Something along those lines. I think it was interesting that they went for that for March 3rd, because they did announce that there was going to be the anniversary show, and that all titles were going to be defended. And I figured that maybe they would have Shane Taylor versus Rush for that, which makes you interested. If they're giving this to us now, they got to have something planned for that actual pay-per-view, or maybe we will have some kind of maybe we'll have a title change, and then that anniversary show will be the rematch of Shane Taylor now defending against Roosh or something to that effect. But we do know that next week we will see the 6-man tag titles defended in action when Shane Taylor with Shane Taylor Promotions goes up against the Mexican Hit Squad. This is going to be a match that it's going to be a match like that. I'm looking forward to it, and it's great. It's great booking because Shane Taylor Promotions was going to be given the titles by Ring of Honor because the Mexican Squad could not defend them, and they said no, we want to earn them. They are now being given that opportunity to earn them. We are going to be seeing Bandito, Flamita, and Rey Horus in action. There's only so much excitement that Ness can contain. You guys are gonna be in for a treat from this.
They come back for months, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and the guys, that is our tease for next week. You can see Ness bouncing off the walls, doing like tornado DDTs to imaginary opponents as he gives you his review of that 6-man tag match. I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. But until next time, guys, we are going to sign off for now. Ness, tell the fine people where they can find you.
Guys can find me on Twitter at skinny_Kravitz. You can follow me on Instagram at skinny__Kravitz. And you can catch me on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Obviously, you can catch me on Review of Honor with my man StatKing, the man of 1,004 numbers. You can also catch me on Blunt Impact and Joints and Jabronis with my man Chris G. And you can catch me on the Roundtables, because I'm in the Roundtable Rebel. You can also listen to my illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
And guys, you can catch me in our Facebook group as always, and on Dark Power, where I break down everything that happens in AEW Dark and MLW Fusion. You never know who's going to show up on AEW Dark. I mean, this week's episode started off with Jon Moxley choking somebody out in about 2 minutes, so you never know what's going to happen on AEW Dark. And MLW Fusion, well, it's MLW Fusion, and there's just the zaniness, the craziness that they present. We break it all down for you there. But guys, until next time, we appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Remember to hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay warm, try to melt the ice if you can. Yes. But peace, guys, peace.
Later.